Friends, today I am going to tell you a very strange and very old story. So this story is from the time when we were not even free. The British were imposing their rule and system on us, and we did not have many resources available. An incident from around 1880. A rich family used to live in a district of Up. His name was Harkumar Rai, a rich and big landlord. His family consisted of husband and wife and their 3 children. 2 sons and a daughter. The names of the boys were Gopal and Shyam, and the daughter's name was Aruna. Aruna was the eldest among them. Aruna was 15 or 16 years old when she got married. She was married in a far-flung village. The marriage was also done in a big landlord family. Big mansion, 4 gardens, and everything was comfortable. She was very happy. Overall, Aruna was married from one rich family to another big rich family. When Aruna got married, one of her brothers was 13 years old and the other was 10 years old. It had been only a few months since Aruna's marriage, and a few months later was the festival of Diwali. So there was a tradition among them that on such festivals, sweets or clothes and many other things were gifted from one family to another. Aruna wanted that this Diwali her 2 brothers Shyam and Gopi should come to meet her. They were also on vacation. Recently they had returned home from the city, so both the brothers took sweets etc. from their home and left for their sister Aruna's village. Now at that time there were not so many cars etc. Traveling from village to village was still done in the old ways. If one was poor then he used to go by bullock cart, and if one was rich then he used to go by buggy. Both the brothers were going to Aruna's house by buggy along with a servant of their house. Aruna's village was so far away that it would take 2 days to go there even by buggy. So both the brothers left to go there in the morning. Traveling through the jungle hills, they stayed the first night in the village of one of their relatives. At that time there was no electricity etc. in the village, so people did not travel at night. After that night, the next day morning they again left for their further journey, and that day in the evening, both the brothers reached their sister's house. Aruna was very happy to see her brothers. It was the first time someone had come from the daughter-in-law's house, so both of them were treated with great respect there. They talked etc. Dinner was also had with everyone, and at night arrangements for both of them to sleep were made in a big room on the top floor of the mansion. The room was very big and there was a gallery leading out of the room. Both of them were well taken care of. Now both of them were very tired and wanted to rest. Actually, both the brothers were going to stay there till by Dooj. As it was a new place, Gopi and Shyam were not able to sleep. Both of them were just lying on the bed while talking. There was also the fatigue of the journey. After talking for a long time, Gopi fell asleep. It was midnight and there was a lot of darkness outside. There was a lantern light inside the room. It was burning on a low flame. Just then the voice of younger brother Shyam was heard from outside. He could hear 2 women talking to each other outside, but he was unable to understand what they were talking about. He still did not pay much attention to those voices and closed his eyes. He thought that it must be some servant of the house or something. But still their conversation continued after some time. On paying a little attention, he understood that whoever they were 2 women and were fighting with each other. Now Shyam was a little surprised as to who was fighting at such a late hour, and it was so late. The conversation did not stop. So, the curiosity of the evening also arose that let's see who is talking so late in the night. Shyam opened the door with a lantern and went out in the gallery. And he started looking here and there below the gallery to see who was talking. At first he could not see anything. But now the conversations which he was hearing unclearly, he could hear clearly. He could hear that 2 women were arguing with each other. The first woman would say that I am beautiful. The second woman would say that I am beautiful. Shyam was surprised and was thinking that who is this crazy person who is talking meaninglessly so late in the night, and because of this he became more curious and curious to see who are these crazy women. Shyam was in the back part of the mansion. There was a big garden outside, and in one corner there was a place for the landlord and the guests to sit and drink tea. Then Shyam's attention went towards that side. There was a lantern there, and in its light 2 women were sitting. Both the women were fully adorned, like someone is in wedding attire, and they were sitting there arguing among themselves that who is more beautiful. As soon as Sham tried to look at them carefully in the light of the lantern, both those women also looked at him, and suddenly said to him, "Why boys, you only change who is more beautiful." Their sudden look made Sham's condition worse. He saw that both of them were very dark in color, so dark that only their 2 white eyes were visible, and hearing their strange voice, Sham was scared to death. He got so scared that he ran inside the room. He closed the door and quickly lay down on the bed. Gopi woke up with the sound of the door and the movement in the bed. His brother Sham was then hiding inside the sheet, covered with a sheet. Gopi touched him and saw that he was shivering. Seeing his condition, Gopi asked him what happened. "Why did you run away from there?" Sham lay scared. "Nothing. That's it." In the evening, he thought that if I tell him, he will scold me that why did you need to go there and see, and he just kept lying quietly. After some time, Gopi realized that Sham was reciting Hanuman Chalisa from under the sheet. Gopi understood that he has seen something very wrong. "Tell me what happened. Why are you so scared?" Finally, when in the evening he felt that everything was normal, he told Gopi that he was hearing some voices, and so he went out to see who was talking at such a late hour, who was fighting. But as soon as he looked down, he saw those strange women. As soon as Sham told this to his brother, someone started banging on the door of their gallery loudly. Seeing that, both of them also got scared and started thinking what to do next. They thought that it would be better to go out of the room, and they were about to get up from there. Then they saw that the door of the room was also ringing. Now their condition became even worse because now they could neither go out of the room nor in the gallery. They could not even call from there. They could not even call anyone. Both of them started reciting Hanuman Chalisa loudly. They started chanting the name of God loudly, but the louder they shouted, the more the sound of banging on the door increased. They were able to hear those sounds, could see that someone was banging the doors on both sides. They could also hear the tinkling of their bangles. By morning, those sounds became less. Both of them were already tired from the long journey. On top of that, due to lack of sleep the whole night. By morning, both of them fell asleep. Aruna's family members also thought that they must be tired from the long journey, and that is why no one woke them up. Then before noon, both of them woke up from sleep. When they woke up, Gopi and Sham told their sister that they had seen 2 strange women at night. Maybe they were ghosts or witches. Seeing the condition of both of them, Aruna told the same to her family members, but all her family members started laughing at Gopi and Sham. They told them that they have been living in this mansion for so many years, but they have never experienced anything like this till date. Maybe you must have had an illusion due to tiredness, but both the brothers were not ready to believe them. Both of them knew very well that whatever they had seen was not a dream, it was true because they had spent the whole night in fear. Both of them were so scared that they told Aruna to celebrate by Duj today itself because we cannot stay here. We will not stay here at night at all. Aruna's in-laws were good people, so after listening to both of them, Aruna's father-in-law explained to them that it is already afternoon and you have to go very far. You will not be able to reach the other village till dark. This is a forest area, anything can happen, so it is better that you both stay here tonight. Leave tomorrow morning, by evening you will reach your relative's village. Those 2 were also not ready to listen to them, and both the brothers were repeatedly talking about those women. This time Aruna's father-in-law suggested a solution. Look, do one thing. You stay here tonight. We have many servants in our house, 3 to 4 strong servants will stay with you. If anything goes wrong, they will handle it. Hearing this, Gopi and Sham agreed to spend that night there. That night 3 to 4 servants slept in Gopi and Sham's room by putting mattresses etc. But the whole night Gopi and Sham's attention was on those doors. Even a slight sound coming from somewhere would steal their sleep. They could not sleep properly that night too. Somehow that night passed. That night they did not feel any strange feeling. No sound was heard. The next morning both of them were also ready to leave. As soon as it was morning, both of them got ready quickly and left for their village in a buggy with their servant. After a journey of 2 days, they finally reached their village and reached their home. Then both of them heaved a sigh of relief. They also told their mother about the incident that happened there. Slowly everything became normal, then neither did they feel any bad feeling nor did they see anything. As soon as the holidays were over, they went to the city for their studies. About 1.5 months passed like this. Now in those days people did not have telephones, etc. At that time there were people to send messages from one village to another. These people were like a messenger who used to send people's letters or verbal messages from one village to another. And this was their job. One such person. Every day a messenger was sent to Aruna's house from her maternal home. He told Aruna's parents that Aruna's health is very bad and she is so ill that nothing can be said. Aruna has called you and both the brothers to meet her, perhaps it is her last wish. Gopi until we're in the city for studies in the evening, then Aruna's parents sent them a message through their servant and said that your sister's health is very bad. You come home immediately. And the same day her parents immediately left for Aruna's in-laws' house. When they reached there, they were shocked to see Aruna's condition. Her condition was so bad that it seemed as if someone had sucked the blood from her body. Her eyes were sunken. The flesh of the body had dried up and stuck to the bones. Every vein of the body was visible. The whole body had turned black. The face had also turned black. There was no light in the eyes. She did not even have the strength to lift her hands. Aruna's mother was very shocked to see her condition, because everything was going well just a month ago. Her sons themselves had told her that Aruna is very happy and her in-laws are also very nice. Aruna's parents inquired from her in-laws, then they told that the family has taken care of her in every way. God knows how many doctors were called. But no medicine is having any effect on her. Her horoscope was shown to the pundits as well, every remedy was tried. But it did not make any difference. They themselves are unable to understand what is happening to her, what disease she has. Some doctors have even said that it is difficult for her to survive, and that is why finally we have informed you. Every effort to save her is failing. We are all in the hands of God. Aruna's mother felt very bad after hearing all this. But Aruna's mother was a great devotee of Lord Mahadev. So somewhere in her mind, she had this belief that Mahadev will cure her. Aruna's mother said to her in-laws, "That just do this favor on us that we want to take her to our home. Just give us permission to go. I want to take her to our village, to our home. Maybe a change in the climate might improve her condition." Aruna's in-laws tried to explain to them that her condition was very bad. She was unable to walk even a single step. She did not have the strength to even get up. But Aruna's mother stood in front of them with folded hands and said that I know she has no strength, but still I want to take her. Maybe this is the last time, let me take my daughter home. Aruna's in-laws also understood this, who knows? This may be Aruna's last time. Therefore, her in-laws did not oppose her and allowed her to take Aruna. That night Aruna's husband also went to drop her home. Aruna's parents brought her home. In those 2-3 days, they called many doctors to their home. They told them about Aruna's problem. Many treatments were done, but all the doctors had given up. Her condition was very bad and there was little chance of survival. Everyone was telling them that her condition was so bad that they had no treatment for her. Now after all this, after seeing everything, Aruna's mother also seemed to have given up. And that evening she went to Mahadevji's temple and started crying and pleading in front of God. She started telling him her sorrow that what sin did my daughter commit. I have worshipped you for years, Lord, and I have got this result in return. I am getting the result. Look at the condition of my daughter. God, your soul will tremble after seeing her. It is better to kill her than to keep her alive like this. Free her from this fear. She was repeatedly cursing God and was pleading in front of Lord Mahadev's pindi. The pundit of the temple was sitting in a corner and listening to all her talks very calmly. When Aruna's mother was crying and pleading, he did not say a single word, and he was seeing that she was bowing in front of Lord Spindi for a long time. After crying for a long time, she calmed down and left to go back home. By that time it had become dark. Then the pundit sitting there called her from behind. "Mother, I have heard all your talks. From your talks, I have come to know that something very bad is happening to your daughter. You are not able to find a cure for it even after searching. Maybe you should take the help of an inner self, someone who is above all this." After listening to Pundit G, Aruna's mother asked him, "Pundit G, where should I search? Where should I go?" Then Pundit G very calmly told her that there is a crematorium outside the village. A few days ago a Kapalik came and stayed there. Not many people go there. You should try going to him once. It is possible that he may help you. Aruna's mother got some relief after hearing this. She started seeing a ray of light and she went out of the temple. But as soon as she went out, she started thinking how she could go to the crematorium, and that too at this time, because this was the time when women were not allowed to go to the crematorium. But still she had to save her daughter by doing anything. So finally, being tough, she decided to go to the crematorium that very night, and she started walking towards the crematorium outside the village in the dark night without telling anyone. It was not long in the night, but there was a deep silence. People had stopped coming and going. Darkness had covered the entire sky. Aruna's mother mustered up the courage to go inside the crematorium, and as soon as she went inside, she looked around. Then in a corner, she saw a man whose body was covered with ashes. The man was sitting in a meditative posture in front of a fire. Aruna's mother went and stood near him, but she did not call him. She felt that he was engrossed in meditation, and it would not be right to call him in such a situation. If his meditation was broken, he might get more angry. So she stood there quietly. A lot of time passed, but she did not open her eyes. Aruna's mother's legs started paining due to standing there for a long time. But thinking about her daughter, she would stop again. After a long time, she started crying on her own. Kapali was also engrossed in meditation for a long time. He was neither looking at her nor opening his eyes. But still Aruna's mother stood there. She felt that she had gathered courage and had come here, so it would not be right to go back empty-handed. Finally, she felt like crying a lot, and she fell in front of him with folded hands and started crying sitting there. In a short while, the Kapalik opened his eyes and politely told her, "Ma, don't cry. Tell me what the problem is." Aruna's mother wept and told Kapalik Maharaj about her daughter's condition and told him that no remedy was working on her, and that's why she had to come here. After listening to her, Kapalik Maharaj agreed to go home with her, and at the same moment he followed her to her house. Now it was very late in the night. In a short while, both of them reached near the house. As soon as they reached there, Aruna's mother opened the gate, but Kapalik Maharaj stopped there, and he closed his eyes. Aruna's mother did not say anything after seeing him. After a few minutes, opening his eyes, Kapalik Maharaj said that I cannot go inside. Whoever is inside will become alert. You just do one thing, and saying this, he took out some ashes from his hand and put it in Aruna's mother's palm, and told her to take this ash and apply it on the anklet on your daughter's feet and remove the anklets of both the feet and bring it to me. Aruna's mother took that ash and went inside the mansion. When she saw, Aruna was lying in an unconscious state. Perhaps she was asleep. She quietly applied the ash on the anklet of Aruna's feet and quietly removed the anklets of both the feet and brought her outside. Kapalik Maharaj saw Pyle and sat outside the house at a place. He collected some wood and lit it on fire with his power and started meditating sitting in front of it. Meanwhile, he took Aruna's pile and lit it on fire. Aruna's mother was not able to understand what he wanted to do, but as soon as Pyle was thrown into the fire, a loud scream echoed from inside the mansion, and she saw that her daughter Aruna came running and stood at the door of the mansion. Her mother was surprised to see Aruna coming like that, because she knew that she could not even get up from her place and was not able to move her hands and legs. And she had come running there in that condition. Running in the same condition, she ran towards Kapali. She tried to attack him, but Kapalik Maharaj stopped her at a distance with just a gesture of his hand. His mantra chop was going on, and Aruna's mother was standing on one side and watching all this. At the same moment, her sons also reached there in a buggy. Seeing all that, both of them also stood quietly at a distance. Just as Kapalik had signaled Aruna to stop him, in the same way he signaled her to come near the fire, and then Aruna went to him and started pleading. She fell at his feet and started saying that don't drive us away, leave us, we will not do anything. Let us go. Then Kapalik ordered them to come out of the girl's body and stand in front of him in their real form. And then suddenly Aruna fell down unconscious and two spirits came out of Aruna's body. Aruna's mother caught Aruna quickly. And then everyone saw that they were two witches who had come out of Aruna's body. Both those witches came out of Aruna's body and stood in front of Kapali, and seeing them Aruna's brother Sham was also shocked because he had seen them earlier also when he had gone to his sister's house for Diwali. Those two were the same witches who were fighting sitting outside in the courtyard. Then Kapalik asked those witches that why did you both enter the body of this girl? Then those witches told that a few days ago these two boys were traveling through the forest. During the journey they stopped at a place and then they went behind the tree to urinate. We were there. We saw them and wanted to trap them. We left our anklets there. Seeing the anklet, he also picked it up and took it with him. When he went to this girl's house or to his sister's house, he forgot that anklet and left it behind the tree. We left her there. Then out of fear of us, we left from there. The next day, a servant of this boy gave these anklets to her thinking they were hers. This mad girl also wore both the anklets without thinking, and then we entered her body. Actually, our victims were these two boys. We trap young boys and drink their blood, which gives us strength. But when they left, we made his sister our victim. We thought that if we make his sister sick, then these two brothers will definitely come to meet her, and that is why we entered her body. All the members of Aruna's family were surprised to hear their words. Now they had come to know why those witches had given so much trouble to Aruna, and the relief in all this was that both the brothers were also not at home. Because both of them were the victims of the witches. If they had been at home, they would have killed them long ago. But because of Kapalik Maharaj, those three were also saved. Kapalik Maharaj captured those two witches and took them with him, and while leaving he asked to treat Aruna. Within a few months Aruna became well again, and after getting well she went back to her in-laws. Actually in all this her brothers had unknowingly picked up that anklet. They did not know that those anklets could have some connection with witches, but in the end everything was fine due to Aruna's mother's devotion and Kapalik Maharaj. So friends, this was today's story. How did you like today's story? Do tell me by commenting. That's all for today. See you in the next episode with some such scary story. Till then, thank you. We left her there. Then out of fear of us, we left from there. The next day, a servant of this boy gave these anklets to her thinking they were hers. This mad girl also wore both the anklets without thinking, and then we entered her body. Actually, our victims were these two boys. We trap young boys and drink their blood, which gives us strength. But when they left, we made his sister our victim. We thought that if we make his sister sick, then these two brothers will definitely come to meet her, and that is why we entered her body. All the members of Aruna's family were surprised to hear their words. Now they had come to know why those witches had given so much trouble to Aruna, and the relief in all this was that both the brothers were also not at home. Because both of them were the victims of the witches. If they had been at home, they would have killed them long ago. But because of Kapalik Maharaj, those three were also saved. Kapalik Maharaj captured those two witches and took them with him, and while leaving he asked to treat Aruna. Within a few months Aruna became well again, and after getting well she went back to her in-laws. Actually in all this her brothers had unknowingly picked up that anklet. They did not know that those anklets could have some connection with witches, but in the end everything was fine due to Aruna's mother's devotion and Kapalik Maharaj. So friends, this was today's story. How did you like today's story? Do tell me by commenting. That's all for today. See you in the next episode with some such scary story. Till then, thank you.